Okay, 2:55 and 77 degrees. I'm down here in fruit country. I thought those were plums, but I think they're red apples. So, I'm gonna do a video on economics. It's gonna be pretty darn local. So I'm here, it goes to Vegas, about 4.5 hours that way, Summit Ridge Parkway, and I just went shopping in a place called Rowley's Red Barn. So I'm going to show you what I brought in, but it's good to know local, and you know, Juanito says go local. As what Grundig, that guy is great. I guess he's not a total finance guy, because Juan got pretty exercised when he asked how much you have to pay on borrowed money. And Grundig is one smart cat. It was fun to talk to in Vegas, but zero, Grundig, zero. When you borrow money, you don't pay any income tax on it. And usually, you know, if you're kind of an accountant type, there's what you would call Section C, Schedule C on income tax returns, where you can deduct interest. So it is quite a way to do money. And then Juan was getting into details, which I thought was kind of fascinating, that A-grade bonds were selling at, 3A, AAA prices, and it was pretty deep stuff, but I dug it. So Juanito, thanks. We're going to talk about local stuff here, and I just made a score at Rowley's Red Barn, so it saved me a trip to Beaver. Cheddar cheese with salsa seasoning. They're natural, and it's got some stuff in it I don't like, but anyway, these are famous from Beaver. Look, here's what real fruit looks like. There's no mark on it. I mean, there's natural marks. Look at that. That's a real peach. I can't wait to eat it, because the Pioneers, it's good to eat natural stuff that's not going to last for 3 months in the store. And see, this is already kind of biodegrading, but I'm going to let it biodegrade inside my body. Okay, so I bought peaches at Rowley's. Let's see. And look at these apples. Oh, there's no little sticker on it. Can I still eat it? It's not formed perfectly. It's got blemishes on it, but that is a real apple. So Rowley's, thanks. And I talked to the guy in Spanish, of course. Look at that. Here's another real apple. So I scored some real food at Rowley's. And this is local right here. Santa Quinn's a little bit up of that away. Payson's up of that away. Deep fried down that away. Then you go to Beaver, then Cedar City, then St. George, then Vegas. You keep going, it goes all the way to the border of Tijuana. Let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, okay. One of these wasn't natural, but this looked pretty darn natural. Pickled beets. Oh man, I'm gonna have a party tonight, I'll tell you that much. Well, I'm listening to Juanito. Juan's gonna be on Nino. Thanks, the cowboy told me that, so I gotta watch that. Nino needs 3 cushions for his bum because I guess we'll talk about the Bible. Juan's pretty good at the Bible stuff. That's using a little British understatement, even though he doesn't like the Brits. Look, I scored here. It's really light. Oh, freeze-dried blackberries, man. I'm gonna have the best time tonight. So I'm gonna talk about local economics, okay? So there's some fruit right there, and there's plenty of fruit to go around here, but let's see what I got in the bag here. Famine by Ogden Crowd. You don't want to get caught in that, but if you do, you want to have some fruit storage, right? Right. And what do we got here? Oh, Joseph Smith and Herbal Medicine, $3.95. Yeah, Joseph Smith wasn't into doctors and lawyers and such, but he was into herbal medicine. One of the reasons I like that kid. Let's see. Yeah, let's talk about water. If you don't have water, I drank my Trump water. If you don't have water, you're really not going to last very long. So water should be your first thing. You can go 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without shelter. So if you're in the middle of Phoenix and it's 115 degrees, you got about 3 hours with no water or shelter. And then if you're in the winter and it's like you're up in Stanley, Idaho, when it's 50 degrees outside, well, you're not going to go very long at all. But let's say it's like 10 degrees. and you don't have, you just got a t-shirt and you're dressed like me right now, you got about 3 hours till you freeze to death. You can go 3 days if it's normal without water, and then you're gonna die. And you can go 30 days without food. So water's numero uno, air is of course numero uno, then water. Let's see, mushrooms, I've been taking good mushrooms. You got to be very careful. If you do it on your own, you can kill yourself by eating the wrong one. But look, this is 7 mushrooms. I've been taking mushroom powder stuff for about 25 years. This is called Stamets 7. Let's see. Now these are pretty nice to get. You can buy them by the case at Costco, and they're pretty natural. They're not full of junk. Oh man, I don't know. Maybe it's some junk. This is great to clear out your liver. Tudka. You don't have to kill bears to get this kind of tudka. Oregano oil. I'm actually going to make a deal. I made a deal with these guys. I'm going to start probably selling their stuff and putting a link on the website. That way you can support Man of Truth and get something, because this stuff is some of the best in the world. And of course, essential oils. I've got like 100 of them. That's lavender, which is really nice. Well, what do I have here? Some reishi mushrooms from Root and Bones. This gal sells. Man, I'm gonna have to shut that window there. This gal sells like great stuff. Back when I was loaded, I bought a bunch, and I still have it. So reishi is one of the best ones. Flashlights. Okay. You should have a lot of lights, right? Whoa. Because they're going to come in handy when the lights go out in the next few weeks. Of course, salt. Redmond, you can get Redmond around here pretty cheap. They have a bunch of it in there. I've had Redmond for a long time, but that's Himalayan sea salt's really good for you. That's the right kind of salt to get in. What's that? It's a nice little... It's a knife. It's a pretty serious knife, but it's good to have a good knife on you, right? Oh, another flashlight. Nebo. From Mount Nebo. I guess you can't see it from here, but no, Mount Nebo's pretty high. This is a very bright light. So if somebody walked into your bedroom, you could blind them with this. Plus you can find stuff with it when you need to. So what's this? Essential oil turmeric. 100% pure, very nice. DMSO, that's back in college, that's football player's secret. If they're throwing on feeling kind of sore, you put DMSO, gives you doggy breath, but pretty darn good stuff if your joints are stiff. He's one of my favorites too, Dr. Schultz, cold and flu. That's the only kind of shot I think's good. An herbal shot. Anyway, Dr. Schultz trained with Dr. Christopher, so he's one of the best in the world, Dr. Schultz. Yep, Manuka honey. I was pretty impressed when the hospital I was at knew about Manuka honey, but I was sneaking it in there, and then they were using it, so I was pretty impressed with that. Manuka honey. Oh, what do we got here? Clove. You got a toothache, yeah, it'll kill the pain in about 3 seconds. Be careful because it's very powerful, but clove bud oil is great for toothaches and infections, but be careful not to get it in your eyes. What we got here? Old Pioneer Remedies. Pinyon pine gum, sheep tallow, lanolin. I would have some lanolin sheep tallow on hand, okay? That stuff is great for... And then, if you get a little clogged up, I love Dr. Christopher. And I think if I get a little more funds, I'm going to go over there and buy some more of his formulas because they're great. But I've been taking them for 20 years, and I think that's basically the reason I'm still alive. Thank you, Dr. Christopher. He's up in heaven right now, but man, he did a heck of a job. He used to get in trouble for being a natural herbalist guy, but he's one of the best ever. What else we got in here? Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna put a link on Global Healing because I'll have a link, and then you can buy stuff probably at the regular price or a discount, and then get some of the best stuff in the world. Liver, gallbladder detox support. This stuff is amazing too. Back during the flu epidemic of 1918, the Indians around Reno took the plant that this is made from, and none they all survived. So Barlow Herbals is great too. They've got videos on YouTube. LVM 100 is great. And what else in there? Okay. Hey horse. That's right. Now remember, when you give a apple to a horse, you don't hold it like this, because the horse might bite he wants the apple, he might bite your finger, so you gotta go like that, right? Right, Texas people and Utah, yeah, you go like that when you give a horse an apple. Okay, so Juanito's kind of like really telling us very explicitly that it's time to get ready, because the grid's vulnerable, which means the internet's vulnerable, and the grid runs gas pumps, everything else. So I just was driving around here and I met some country teenagers, okay? I think they were teenagers. And I'll tell you, country boy can survive. Those kids, they know how to fish. They didn't know about dock, so I ate a piece of dock in front of them. And one guy tried it, and because it's all over the place around here. So there's a lot of food growing naturally. I've taught myself to eat at least 50 plants up in those mountains. So if you want to get together pre-collapse or during collapse or after the collapse, but it's kind of hard to contact me with manoftruth@mac.com. But if you want to get together and learn some local things to eat, just email me, manoftruth@mac.com. So this is bamboo. They used to use this to torture people because it grows so fast, but all 10,000 grasses are edible. Well, I think I'm going to go home, watch Juan, because Juan, I can't believe that guy's on all over the place. Mostly Juanito, and he knows a lot of stuff. Oh, yeah, I didn't bring hydrogen peroxide, but I put up a video. Hydrogen peroxide is good to have on hand. Rubbing alcohol, there was this chick, and she was on the internet, and she just puts it under her arms, wipes out the bacteria so you don't stink. Also, spearmint, chlorophyll that you can get at Good Earth, it's a natural deodorant, and you can just like have a shot of chlorophyll, and then you smell peachy. Actually, I got peaches. I remember I read in Victoria's Kouvatsakis, this girl, she ran away from home, and she lived in a peach grove naked, and just ate peaches for about a week, and it purified her, and she smelled like a peach. And God's done a ton of stuff. Now there's morning glories, they're not edible, but everything has its use. But the edible ones, like alfalfa's edible, roses are edible, of course apples are edible. Now that's private property, so I'm not going to grab one. I went and bought some, but there's tons of apples on the ground around here. And I'll kind of finish when the pioneers, Juan did the pilgrims, I'm into pioneers, but it's cool. There's plenty of stuff on this land that God made for us, and the bad guys want to control people. God wants you to be free, so there's tons of food everywhere if you just look around. I was talking to a guy today, and he's the deer hunt's starting, and those guys, I was talking to him, I said, yeah, some people can shoot one at 400 or 500 yards, and he goes, he's a guide. He says, I got clients that I'll show them how to take them out at 1,500 yards. And I'm like, holy snaky. So I'd rather be here right now than in the Bay Area in Silicon Valley, because it's kind of weird. But look at, I'm gonna just show you this. It's kind of really weird. But I was talking to that country boy, and boy, he's a youngster too. I'm gonna obey that sign. That's private property, no trespassing. Look at that. Look at all those condos down there building the floodplain. And I guess the country boy was telling me that it flooded, it flooded. They had to put sandbags around it. So I should warn people, if you're on low ground, Los Altos is 17 feet above sea level. The East Coast with these storms, I just would feel much safer and comfortable on higher ground. Right here, I'm at about, I think I'm over 5,000 feet right here, which is really pretty high ground, but I wouldn't want to be on the coast right now, personally. Get to know your local environment. If you want to go on a little walk around and learn about dock and a bunch of other wild edibles around here, I might do something, but I'm getting ready in case you gotta kind of be country boy and survive. I know how to fish, that's for sure. But get ready, folks, because it's coming. It's completely obvious to me. I'm not being arrogant. It's just 100% obvious. And then Juan's telling people, so I'm going to have some cheese curded stuff and find a place to get a good internet connection. Listen to Juanito and Nino tonight. Gracias, Juanito. Gracias, Nino. So funny. I'm already laughing just thinking about him. Juan with another Bible story, and the rest of it like, Juan, man, Juan really knows the Bible. Maybe he lived back then, or he did some time travel. Anyway, I'm excited to eat some of this great food I just bought, and have some tuna fish and sardines, because protein, after eating wild plants for like a day, you're going to want some protein. I've tried it before, and believe me, you get kind of hungry for protein pretty fast. Okay, rock on, everybody. Oh my gosh, 15 minutes. Ciao for now. 15:47.